Mona has always been the queen of compliments, the MVP of attention, and the final boss of beauty. Basically, if looks could kill, she'd have a body count. But her high school life takes a plot twist straight out of a romcom when she meets him, the one guy who seems to have built-in DLC immunity to her charms. His unshakable indifference hits harder than her Wi-Fi cutting out during a Netflix binge, and suddenly, Mona's life has a new side quest, making this brick wall of a boy fall for her. Challenge accepted. The story begins in a hospital's neonatal ward, where among the many newborns, one baby stands out for her extraordinary beauty. Years later, at an amusement park, we see the baby has grown into a charming little girl, adored by all her friends for her cuteness. At school, while playing hide and seek, the boys eagerly hope to be the first ones she catches. Time passes, and Mona grows into a young woman who turns heads wherever she goes. Now in high school, Mona wakes up in her bedroom and rushes to school. On her way, everyone she passes stops to admire her beauty. At school, she's greeted warmly by her classmates, all thrilled for a chance to talk to her, except for one boy, Kua. Unlike everyone else, Kua responds to her with nothing more than a polite greeting. Confused and intrigued, Mona begins to obsess over Kua's indifference. Every day, she tries to start conversations with him, asking how he's adjusting to their school since transferring 2 weeks ago. However, Kua grows annoyed by her chatter and asks her to stop bothering him. Mona, bruised in her pride, sits at the desk next to him, wondering how anyone could resist her charms. One day, she notices Kua scrolling through pictures of kittens on his phone. Seeing an opportunity, she asks if he likes cats and starts mimicking a kitten in an adorably exaggerated manner. The entire classroom fawns over her cuteness, but Kua remains unfazed. Instead, he asks her not to bother him, leaving everyone in shock. Mona refuses to give up. She plans her next move by climbing a ladder to hang a poster, hoping Kua will notice her long legs. He sees through her intentions and simply walks by annoyed. Frustrated, Mona shifts to plan B, pretending to fall off the ladder in a way that reveals her underwear. While other boys rush to help her, Kua simply sighs, unimpressed. Determined, Mona moves to her ultimate strategy. During class, she feigns illness and asks to go to the infirmary. When the teacher looks for a volunteer to accompany her, she pretends to stumble and leans on Kua, forcing him to help. In the infirmary, Mona corners him and directly asks if she's upset him somehow, as he's the first boy to ever resist her. For a brief moment, Kua shows empathy, but it quickly fades back into his usual annoyance. Growing desperate, Mona grabs his arm, but they trip and fall onto the bed together. Embarrassed yet determined, she unbuttons her blouse and pretends it's accidental, hoping to finally break through his defenses. Kua frowns, still unaffected, and tells her she should save such gestures for someone she genuinely cares about. Mona is left stunned, blushing and frustrated. How could this boy make her feel something when it should be the other way around? She returns to class, flustered, while her classmates eagerly ask if she's feeling better. But Mona's thoughts remain on Kua, the boy who refuses to fall for her, no matter what she tries. Mona thanks Kua for helping her earlier, but something feels different. For the first time, Kua is looking directly at her. Nervous and embarrassed, she avoids his gaze, wondering why she feels flustered. Almost unwillingly, Mona begins to realize she might be falling for him. Collapsing onto her desk, she glances at Kua and swears to herself that she'll make him fall in love with her no matter what. The next day, Mona arrives at school, greeted warmly by her classmates. She spots Kua in the hallway, but as usual, he greets her with a polite and distant demeanor. Noticing that he's finally wearing the school uniform, she comments on it, but he simply replies, "Yes," before walking away. As he passes by another girl, Ahi blushes but tries to hide her reaction. During gym class, Mona stretches, catching the attention of every boy in the room. She wonders if Kua will notice her well-toned body, but he doesn't even glance her way. Annoyed, she calls out to him, asking him to stretch with her, but he ignores her, which frustrates the other boys even more. As the coach announces the teams, Mona strategizes. Her legs, chest, and other efforts haven't worked, but she convinces herself that she'll do whatever it takes to capture Kua's attention. After the class, drenched in sweat, Mona dries herself in a way that reveals her abdomen. The boys are in awe, they've never seen this side of her before. Confident, Mona believes this will finally break Kua's indifference, but instead, he mutters, "Clear mind, pure spirit," and walks away. Still undeterred, Mona follows him to the water fountain. Kua avoids looking directly at her, which she misinterprets as a sign of progress. She decides to abandon her plan, but as she drinks from the faucet, water splashes all over her, soaking her shirt. Kua, visibly flustered, shouts in embarrassment, while Mona screams and crouches down to cover herself. In a rare act of kindness, Kua takes off his shirt and drapes it over her. Mona, blushing as she notices his physique, thanks him. As he walks away, she can't help but think, now that's what showing some skin looks like. Unbeknownst to them, a hidden girl watches the entire scene. Later, as Ko walks home, he realizes his shirt probably smelled of sweat. Two boys approach him, teasingly asking if he's being too harsh on Mona, given all the effort she's putting in to win him over. They suggest he should be more considerate. Kua reluctantly explains his situation. He's the heir to a feline temple and forbidden from forming close relationships with girls. Growing up in a village with only elderly people and goats, he's never interacted with girls and doesn't know how to deal with someone like Mona. The boys finally understand why Kua acts the way he does. It's not that he's ignoring Mona intentionally, he simply doesn't know how to handle her. Kua admits that Mona is the most beautiful girl he's ever seen, but her overwhelming attention feels like being thrown into the deep end of a world he doesn't understand. The city, unlike his secluded village, is full of temptations, making it hard for him to stay focused. While he agrees he could be a little nicer, he knows that if he lets his guard down, he'll fall for her completely. He refuses to betray his faith or lose sight of his purpose. To steady his resolve, he chants his mantra. Clear mind, pure spirit, banishing any impure thoughts of dating Mona. The next day, Mona returns his shirt, freshly washed. Kua tells her it wasn't necessary, but Mona teasingly asks if he wanted to keep it because it smelled like her. Once again, Kua struggles to maintain his composure. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Your support means a lot to me. It keeps me motivated and gives me the energy to keep creating. Show some love by dropping a blue heart in the comments. And if you're looking for more fun, check out this video where a clueless guy unknowingly adopts an SSS rank ninja who's just searching for love.